I can empathize with them from both sides.
Right. Yeah, that's so key.
So I can explain to them how it feels to be on the debtor side and how it feels to be on the person who is looking for their money.
Right. Now, what's the first step somebody needs to take when they're in debt? What's the first step they need to do? And how would you recommend them going about the process too?
Well, the first thing to do is to look at your debts and see how much they are. First of all, see whether you can find a plan to pay them. If you feel like you can't, and you're in a position you can't, then you can look at the alternatives. Which we've talked about some of the alternatives. One alternative is to actually declare bankruptcy, which is a tough alternative.
Right.
First of all, the laws have gotten more difficult. At minimum, it really affects your credits for a minimum of 10 years, and you can go even longer on other if you have secured debt.
Right. Now, at what point should they make that decision? I mean, obviously, you said get all your credit cards, get all the knowledge of what you owe, who you owe to. They need to have that when they call you
That's
or whatever
correct.
company, because that's going to be very helpful, and what the percentage points are. I'll pull all that out. But what is the next step that they need to take when they call you? I mean, they're going to go do their research to find debt management. What is the best term to look for when they're looking for
Well, again, you want first of all, you want to make sure you're finding something legitimate.
Right.
That's number one. Once you assume that, then you're doing the same thing that you would the same thing you would do to buy anything. You're looking at both the combination of what services you're getting and what price you're getting at. Okay, so you want the price to be reasonable, okay? And you want to make sure, and most importantly, that you're dealing with somebody of integrity, okay? And that all of the things they're going to do for you, they can do, and then you look at the value of those services and decide whether that price is right for you, which is the same thing you would do to buy anything that you wanted in this world.
Right. Now, I cut you off. I think you were going on another pattern, too, as we were talking, and I didn't want to interrupt that flow, but I wanted people to know what's the first step. Obviously, collect the debt, gather that all up, choose your company of choice, and then...
Right, and you can make decisions of debt consolidation, you can look at bankruptcy, you can look at debt management, you can look at paying off yourself. The reason I went to debt management is I feel, to be honest with you, for most of the people in the situation, when they've reached no other alternative, this is the best alternative.
Right. And it's key when I get that pressure off your back.
Right.
Nothing like you start making clear decisions and new options and new choices, and which is what we're all about. Once you have those new perspectives of having that debt removed off of you, you think clearly, and now you can make some good choices. Obviously, the next step from there is to repair your credit, which is what we'll talk about on another show.
And the other thing, Roger, is to know, is to understand, like anything else, right now we're in a financial crisis in the country. So what are we trying to do? We're trying to understand how we got there, okay? So you do the same thing on a personal basis. How did you get there?
Right.
And you try to always do better. Always better yourself, as you said before, right? So there's the same thing from a financial crisis. Your personal financial crisis. You've got to say, how did I get there, and how can I avoid getting there again?
Right, and that's key too.
Right. So one of the things we do is we help you through that process.
Right, and which is the process that you use. How do you help them? What are you?
Well, part of it is proper budgeting. Is understanding how to budget.
Right. And it's not that complicated when you really understand budgeting.
That's correct.
Some people when you put together a budget, it's interesting because when you put together a budget, I think what's funny is that some people will get depressed. They'll say, well, this is all I have, and this is my budget, I'm stuck, this is all I can do. And you have to remember, the budget is just one step, because once you understand how to think and the decisions to make and how to use business and entrepreneurism, which is what we're going to talk all about, is that the budget is just the starting point. You can make unbelievable amounts of income when you understand how the system works and how all this goes on. But
I want to say the same about budgets.
Right.
The thing that people get nervous about budgets is they make an assumption that their income is always going to stay the same.
Right.
A budget is only a moment in time, and we never know what the next moment's going to bring.
Right.
So we should not assume that always things are going to stay the same or going to get worse.
Exactly. And so I use the analogy like flying. When you're flying, you've got to plot your course. You need to know how much fuel you have, and to know what time available. The thing about it is that while you're en route, if you need to get more gas, you pull off, drop down somewhere, land, get some more gas.
Absolutely.
Same thing when you're boating, you get some more gas if conditions change. Well, you can earn more income. You
Right.
can increase the income.
And if you don't have a budget, how do you know that you even need any more income?
Exactly.
This is one of the problems that
Right.
people have. They're in debt, and they don't even know how much debt they are. They don't even know what their monthly expenses are. How do you know what you need to do to get yourself out of that? So
Yep.
the first place is to sit down and just make a simple budget.
Exactly. And then from there, what's the next step?
Well, once you understand that, then you look for the, if you're spending more than you have income, you have two choices. You either
Right.
cut your income, increase your
your
income or
expenses.
cut your expenses.
Right.
It's a very simple pattern. So
Exactly.
you look at places that you can make some cuts, or you look at places that you can increase your income. Once you've done that, at least you have a plan. A plan allows you to do things that allows you to accomplish things.
Right.
And so it's very important to have a plan.
You know, it's interesting. This brings back to my remembrance of the Genghis Khan movie is that the thing that separated him from his enemy was that he used a strategic plan. It was very interesting. There was a scene where he said, "This guy's as sly as a fox," and that he was thinking of a plan, which at that point no one had really planned stuff. They just go out and fight and do battle.
Right.
And here is a plan which set him apart. And so the plan is so key in moving forward.
I think if I had to look at one of the most important ingredients for success, I would say that if you talk to anybody, one of the 7 or 8 steps for having success is having a plan, no matter what you do. And in finances, it's extremely important. And once you have that, it's not. A lot of people say, "I don't want to look because it makes me nervous."
Sure.
And I always laugh at that because I think to myself, it's like the ostrich sticking a head in the sand. It just doesn't change the fact that tomorrow it may have a sandstorm and bury it.
Sure. Sure.
The fact that you understand what may be coming and what you need to do, to me,